Hello and welcome to Dog Talks with your host, the Dog Father. Today I want to talk about a technique to help you in your dog training. It's called targeting. I'm sure you must have heard something that has to do with targeting. So I'm going to explain what that is. Targeting is where you use a bait, if you will, to lure your dog into position without having to physically touch your dog. So it's part of luring. Oftentimes people use different props in order to target. They'll use a target stick, which you can buy separately. Other people will use their fingers to target, right? So that the dog has to touch their nose to the target. And those are fine. I have my own way, which I will explain why I prefer not to use fingers and the pros and cons of using a target stick. I use a closed fist. Why do I use a closed fist? Well, early on in training a dog on targeting to the fist, where the dog touches his nose on the fist, I will open up my hand and there's a treat. So I usually try to have a nice smelly treat so that my hands smell very enticing to the dog. I put my hand out, I put my fist out, and the dog touches the fist. I open up, provide a treat. Other times, I put my fist out, may not have a treat there, may not have a treat in my fist, but I can pull one out. And you would do something similar in targeting. You would have with the other props, such as using two fingers or a targeting stick. Now, where the difference is that when I use a fist, the dog doesn't always know if I have something hid in my fist or not, so there's an extra motivation to go after the fist. Two fingers or a treat stick, there's nowhere to hide. You know that it's kind of difficult for the dog to wonder, to play Vegas if there's something in the back of the fist or not. But another important reason why I don't use the two fingers or the one finger approach is because oftentimes people point to things, and it's natural. We find ourselves pointing, pick that up, go there, so on and so forth. If you're already using your fingers for targeting, that may be confusing to the dog in thinking that you want the dog to touch your finger and not necessarily go pick that up or go over there or look that way. So in order to avoid that, I will use this to call the dog to target my fist. Then I can mold the dog to do other things. And when I want to point something out to the dog to fetch a certain object, I still have the ability to train him using my hands, my finger, one or two, whichever I choose. Target stick works great, especially for smaller dogs, hard to reach down. A nice target stick will help you reach down to, say, a Chihuahua or one of these smaller breeds, Yorkies, so on and so forth. The bad thing about a target stick, sometimes just like with a clicker device, is that you may not have it with you all the time. So it's good to have a target stick, but just understand that sometimes you'll want to wean off the target stick because you may not have it with you at all times. Working with a fist is, I think, one of the better ways, but still a smaller dog, you might still have problems using a fist and a smaller dog. So if you have any other questions, feel free, write them down in the comment section. Remember, subscribe so you get more of these helpful videos. Let me know what you think. And remember, most important of all things, connect with your dog. Till next time, the Dog Father here at Dog Talks.